Hello everyone, my name is Christina Fredrickson and I am the co-founder of Together We Heal Yoga for Trauma Healing. And I'm going to do an introduction about myself and kind of what this whole program is about and what you can expect if you become a member with us. And Craig is also the other co-founder, and he has the background and the degree in psychology, so he will be doing an introduction as well, so you can learn about him. So first off, let's start with me. Like I said, my name is Christina. This is one of our studios that we'll be practicing yoga in, and also just delivering videos with different type of content based off of psychology, nutrition, different type of healing things that we've tried, resources for all of you guys, and just lots of other discussions. And if there's anything that you guys would like to see us talk about, please let us know. But for the most part, I will be the primary person taking us through the yoga practices for trauma healing. There'll be one live session per month, and the rest will just be on-demand streaming that you can actually go on and click on and utilize at any time. So let's talk a little bit about me. So why am I here? So I was 19 at the time and decided to join the military. And I joined military as a firefighter. And then fast forward, the first department I worked at, which was probably the best because there wasn't a whole lot of calls. So there was really no trauma to be exposed to. But, I was very young. And lots of conversations with outside firefighters, wanting to go and do the job and be part of it and all of the everything, the excitement, the fires, the death. And so I transitioned into a public safety department and worked there for about 4 years. And I did both police and fire. And during that time, right, as my prior fire department, when I was on an airport, just playing rock star or rock band with all of the guys, now I'm starting to see trauma and lots of different trauma, right? Especially as a police officer, for those of you that aren't police officers, they typically have to stay and do the death investigation. So there was countless times that I had to stay with the person that was already passed away or deceased and wait until the coroner came to remove the body. So fast forward from there, since they did fire, police, and EMS, I wasn't really the greatest police officer because I didn't really like writing tickets. I always identified as a firefighter. So I went to the last department that I was with, and I won't name any of the departments in any of my introductions or anything that I'm doing, and spent 7 years there. The last 3 I spent as a paramedic. So there's a lot of trauma associated with everything I've seen as a paramedic. Before I went to medic school, I got deployed to Afghanistan because I also spent 20 years in the Army. And I was in Afghanistan for a year, and I was working with special operations. So had a lot of trauma from that. Okay, so now you have a little bit of background about me. Why am I here? So after I started to get really bad back pain, and then I had an aha moment at work once as a firefighter where I just knew it was something I couldn't do anymore. I started developing PTSD symptoms. I talked to a therapist for about 1.5 years, still tried to stay firefighter, didn't tell anybody in the department about my PTSD, just about my back injury. And then I decided to leave the department and go into the corporate sector from my military experience. And so I worked for a large tech corporation as a manager first. Which with my background from the military was great because I'm used to leading people and I'm passionate and I want to help people and grow teams. However, what I didn't account for is that my diagnosis of PTSD, because I hadn't treated it, hadn't addressed it, is that in different types of environments, it gets triggered, and in high stress environments, like working in a corporate job, it got triggered. So I started to have massive panic attacks, really stressed out. And for the last 7 months now, I've been on this healing journey. Well, I also am, like I said, I was a vet. So I went through the VA and got another evaluation done. And that's where kind of all of this came out about that I have really complex PTSD and that I should really be getting treatment and doing things to make myself feel better. And so at that point, I decided to get a psychologist who is very into yoga and yoga healing, and a therapist, because I do believe in medications, and sometimes you do need medications. I'm on several medications right now, but they keep me happy, they keep me calm. I don't feel that fight response all the time like you do with PTSD. I'm limited on my nightmares. I was up to like 3 to 5 nightmares a week, and now I'll still maybe like have 1 nightmare per week, but we're still trying to figure out the medications, but ultimately it's getting better. And then with that, I thought, okay, well, what else can I really try to do to change the thought process in my brain, to change those neurons, right? To getting used to like a new lifestyle and a new routine to where I wouldn't have PTSD. And I've always enjoyed yoga. And I started doing yoga like 20 years ago, but I was a firefighter in the military, and I always thought yoga was like, oh, that's boring. Okay, I don't need to stretch. I need to be strong and powerful and do all these adrenaline type workouts. And so I always kind of just did yoga. But then I came back to it, and just randomly I got something that popped up on Instagram about becoming a yoga instructor. And so I am in that course right now, and it's part of my healing journey, and I wanted to bring you all with me on this healing journey with yoga, because I think it's fantastic, because it really has a mind, a spiritual, and a body connection. And just simple things like breathing or simple stretches or simple exercises just can put us in this safe state. So it really makes me feel great, and that's why I'm here, because I wanted to share it with you. So I kind of talked about why I'm here, experience with PTSD. I'm sure there'll be other conversations that we have with that, but we'll get a little bit more in depth. Craig will share his experience with PTSD. He's also a Special Forces veteran, so I can't wait for you guys to meet him. He's great. We'll do things together sometimes too. And I talked about my healing journey. And so in conclusion, I just wanted to thank everybody for coming to see my intro. And I really hope that you guys like our content. It helps you in some way. A lot of the reason why we're doing this is because I know that there's a lot of people out there that are suffering in silence. I was one of them. I had lots of friends that unfortunately took their lives because they were suffering in silence. It's also really hard to go to a doctor's office and tell them how you feel and get pushback from every direction, or tell somebody in your department and feel weak. So this is really a safe place where you can come. No one knows you're here. You can maybe learn something for us when the timing's right, maybe utilize one of the resources we have, but ultimately like a place where you can feel safe from the PTSD or even trauma. Like anybody else that suffered trauma, this isn't all just about first responders and police and healthcare providers. Really, it's about anybody that's experienced trauma. So I'm looking forward to this journey, and I can't wait until our first yoga session that I get to lead you guys. So in true yoga fashion, we'll end with namaste. Thank you.